What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Cjthecheesedj here, and we are back with another ARK video for you guys today, and got a bit of ARK news for you guys. So if you guys were aware of ARK's, little homepage, they've released a broken dossier. Now you can see here, they normally do it when they're teasing it. They did it for all through Aberration as well as Extinction, the sort of shredded dossiers, but you can see here that they've actually introduced the full dossier, and we have the Dino. God, that was an actual butcher. We're just going to call it the Dino. Now, this big boy, right, I mean, he's not really a big boy, but this guy looks absolutely terrifying. So what we're going to be doing is we're just going to be quickly going over the dossier for you guys, and we're just going to give you our thoughts on pretty much everything. So you guys can see here that it looks absolutely terrifying. It looks like it's trying to jump onto a Carno, a Rex maybe an Allo. You can see there's a wall or like a cliff face that's obviously launching itself off. Could even be a tree for all we know. Now you can kind of see up here, by the time you hear the scurrying claws of the Dino, it's often too late. Superior hunters, they leap from a hiding place and pounce on their prey. The Dino is an agile climber as well, jumping from wall ledge to wall ledge as it seeks high vantage points to lie in wait. So it sounds like it's going to have an ability to obviously latch onto walls as well as jump between them. So I'm kind of thinking they're going to implement something like the Rock Drake has. So when you're gliding and you get the crosshairs and you click and he just kind of launches himself forward. I'm going to say that that's probably what they're going to implement for the Dino as well, because it kind of makes sense. He's got the same sort of design as a rock drake. He's got wings on his arms or feathers, and he's got like large tail feathers as well, which could potentially mean that he's going to have the same sort of attributes as a rock drake. Now the Dino is part of the raptor family, so he's going to be like a medium-sized to small dinosaur. Now you can currently see down here it says a hungry Dino tends to be fearless and will hunt prey much larger than itself, latching onto a dinosaur's back with its sickle-shaped claws, then starting to feed before its victim is even dead. So this sounds like it's just going to casually take chunks out of a dino as you're walking along, or as the wild dino is walking along. So I would not be surprised to see a bunch of Rexes just trying to fight off a Dino on its back. Although I don't know how that's going to work, because the Dino is going to be on like the creature's back. So like if they're wild, they're going to be pretty screwed, because they're not going to be able to get it off their back because of the way the hitboxes work. So that's going to be pretty interesting. Now it also says, while it likes its meat fresh, a Dino isn't above scavenging a carcass if no other food is available. So obviously, because it's a carnivore, it is going to go after corpses, which makes sense. Now you can currently see down the bottom here. So I don't know what the size indicator with the ticks means, but the belt normally means it can be domesticated, which we're aware of, obviously, otherwise they wouldn't release the dossier. I mean, can you imagine being wildcard and releasing a Dino dossier for a Dino that wasn't tameable, and how much hate you would get? They wouldn't do that. Now, it also has eggs, so it's got 3 ticks, so I'm guessing you can obviously breed these guys. Now, in terms of rideability, I would definitely say that they are rideable. I'm going to say they're raptor size, so they're going to be very similar to the raptor. You can see they've got the sickle claw as well, which is perfect for latching onto. So I'm going to say that they are going to be rideable with a saddle. Now you can see up the top here it says domesticated, so this is how you pretty much tame them. So raising a Dino in captivity requires an ample food supply, as they have a fast metabolism, makes sense, to match their high activity level. The Dino is also fiercely territorial near nests with eggs, even if the eggs aren't its own. This makes breeding successive generations a hazardous process. So let's just reread this real quick. So also fiercely territorial near nests with eggs, even if the eggs aren't its own. So it sounds like it's going to get like aggressive near eggs when you've got yourself one. So unless raised from eggs, they cannot be tamed. The hunter instinct of a wild Dino is so strong that it reflectively pounces on a would-be master. So it doesn't sound like you can actually do the standard knockout tame. It looks like you actually have to steal one of their eggs. So it's going to be similar to like a wyvern in that regard, and then you just have to constantly feed them a lot of food. So it sounds pretty interesting. Now, this also isn't a reskin. They have confirmed on Twitter. You can see here, it says that I guarantee you it's not a reskin. I've read it on the site somewhere. So yeah, this guy looks pretty interesting. Now, honestly, like I said, I do think he will be rideable. He's definitely on par with like raptor size. Like even if you look at the T-Rex here, it comes up to like his tail, like his midsection. So he's definitely going to be rideable. I can imagine he would be. And even here, like you've got the player with a stick. What is he doing? He's got a stick. He's trying to creep up on a sleeping Dino. I don't know. He's kind of playing a dangerous game there, but like you can see the size, and one of these would easily support a rider. So like there's no doubt in my mind that these guys would have a saddle for themselves. Now, as well as that, we're just going to come down here and check out the quick little thing. I think this is pretty much the same thing here. Yeah, you can see there, it's all the same sort of stuff. So we don't actually know when it's coming into Arc, but honestly, I wouldn't put it past the devs to introduce it in like a week's time or so. Now, the cool thing about this is that it was part of the Arc Editions mod. So the Arc Editions mod has this guy, the Dino, the Brachio, the crocodile one, I can't remember the name of him, and there is one more as well. So I'm hoping that Wildcard will start implementing these new dinos from the Arc Editions mod, because the Arc Editions mod have pretty much fleshed out new dinosaurs. Like the Brachiosaurus, if you guys haven't seen it, we do tame one up in our modded series, and he is nuts. So like they've got some really cool aspects of them and stuff like that. So we're just taking a quick little read through the comments here. So you can see he makes me very happy, and as intended sets it apart from the classic raptor, which is correct. It's what the raptor should have been originally. Watch me rob nests on the daily. Might also like spoiled meat. Yeah, possibility, because it does say it would feed on corpses on scavenging, so it could possibly like spoiled meat as well. I don't think it would count as like a kibble, because you technically can't tame it. You have to raise it. So that'll be really interesting. But yeah, I would say it also gets a pack bonus. I don't think they'll have the alpha aspect like they do with the normal raptors. So I'm not too sure how that'll work. And with the nests like spawning in, so you can see here this guy's mentioned, will it have the nests just spawning on different maps? Or is it the new egg tame for the new map? I don't think they're going to be introducing a new map with this guy at the moment. I think they're just going to be introducing him. And the way they'll do it is they'll sort of do it the same way they've got wyvern eggs spawning in. So they'll probably set them up in like the redwoods or something like that, where the dinos can actually climb up on. That's probably the way I think it'll go. So I think that's pretty interesting. And you probably would be able to breed them to get more, makes sense. I don't think it's going to be a Trudon. I think it's going to be bigger than a Trudon, so I think it'll be really good. You can see here, this guy's got a couple of questions. So where will they spawn regarding that, and how would it work with the nests? I do think it'll be spawning in redwoods, and I think the way the devs will do it is kind of similar to like maybe the frost wyverns, how they've got certain nests if there are certain ones spawned in. I don't know, I think that would be pretty good. Would there be a limit to the type of creatures it can attach itself to? Like, would it work on a Giga and a Bronto, or would they be too big? I think the devs would have to implement something like this, where a Dino would be too big. I would say a Rex/Spino would probably be the biggest thing they can go for, because I don't see them jumping on Gigas. I don't know, maybe they would implement it, like, because technically you could wear down the biggest of sort of dinos with these guys, because I don't see how you would be able to, how the wild dinos would be able to hit you. So that would be interesting. Yeah, you can see here, would there be a way to get them off you when they do it in the wild? I would say probably a same sort of thing as a Trudon with the fire torch, like the torch. Possibly, or they'd just maul you to death, unless you've got good armor. So they might have like the Raptor's ability where he pounces on you, and there's like a certain time you're pinned. That could be the same sort of thing with the Dino. I don't know. Would there be a limit to what they aggro towards? Like, for example, a Raptor doesn't aggro onto a Rex, but it does aggro on a Para, so how would it work for the Dino? I would say it would aggro on everything, because it said in the dossier that it was pretty angry Dino, so it's pretty interesting. And a question you should expect to get a lot, when is it planned to be released? I'm going to say it's probably going to be a week or two, because they wouldn't have released the dossier if they hadn't had it fleshed out, sort of thing. And the asset is already there for them in the Arc Editions mod. So all they would need to do is port that over to their main game. And I would say that it wouldn't take them too long to do. Yeah, so that's pretty much all there is, guys. Like, there's not really much else. So you could have these guys hunting the top ceiling corners, yeah. So obviously these guys would be pretty good as base defense as well. But yeah, I would say they're going to probably bring these guys out in a week or so. Does this mean they'll speed up incubation and breeding process? I don't think so. But yeah, that sounds pretty good. So I'm pretty like excited for this. It's been a while since they've released a new official dinosaur. Like the last one they released was what, Extinction? So I'm hoping, I honestly do hope they bring out a new map as well, but I don't think they'll be bringing it out with the Dino. I think the Dino will be implemented to all the older maps because all the older maps have got a redwood sort of biome. So you could implement them in that sort of scenario because they are wall climbers and stuff like that. So guys, we're going to wrap up the video here today. Let me know what you guys saw of the Dino. Let me know what you guys are thinking about it in terms of abilities and stuff like that and everything we know, whether or not they'll be rideable and everything like that. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think about it down in the comments below. But other than that, guys, thanks very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I will catch you in the next one.